Okay, I'm going to try and show you some ways to work a little bit more efficiently. All right, this is Jaemin's scene, and I think it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good example of how some things we can do to make it more efficient. Now you can see from this opening that we have a little bit of a camera move, and I think this is a simpler one. Although I wouldn't do all that, but we're only seeing a few of the buildings, so that, I think we can only see these two. If we pull back, we can see that there's a building here and a building here, and we never see more past like this. So you could conceivably, say select something like this and just hit the delete key, and then if I go, let me just select something here. Let me select something smaller. Let's go in. I'll just frame it on that. And you can see there's a lot of complicated detail here that is not going to add to your story, so you could delete that without losing anything. I mean, fire escape, you don't even see the side of the thing. So that's a basic. You could in fact you could just get rid of like individual windows for that matter. Well, I can't seem to isolate them. When I was doing a test, I was able to do that. Maybe it was on this one. Um, but you may need that. Sometimes you need to, follow a character. Maybe it's a car chase that you're going to follow around the city, and you want all this stuff. In which case, you will have to save it, and we can see here from this file size it is 14 megabytes. Which is not going to kill you, but when I'm animating, I save about every 5 minutes, so you're going to have a lot of 14 megabyte files. So yeah, you can get this more efficient. For me, just as your instructor, I don't really care about these backgrounds. It's nice; it adds a little bit to it, but if just a box as a placekeeper is okay with me. But if you like it and you want to keep it, one thing you could do is use referencing. Now, let me tell you about what referencing does. Right now, what Maya does is it saves everything in the scene. It saves the animation and it saves the model. It saves all the instructions about how the joints work and everything. But you don't need to save all that every time. The model's already been has already been built and saved, so you don't need to save it. Now, when you're setting up your scene, you probably loaded this, or Jaemin probably loaded this, and then loaded the character of Joe, and then maybe loaded these buildings, and so they probably sit as separate files. So what you would do is you would load it. What I'm going to do, just because I don't have that access, I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to up arrow to make sure I've got everything selected. Actually, I'll select some part of it, and then up arrow to select it all, and then hit delete, and then I'll select something else, and then up arrow and hit delete, and then I can just say File, Save Scene As, and I can just call it Buildings. But before I do that, I'm going to say a very important thing here. I'm going to say File, Create Project. So it's under the File Editor. What you want to do is you want to say a project, and you want to make a new project. And I'm just going to call this Joe in City. And I'll just use all the defaults. And I did this as a demo, so that's why I already have it. Okay, so when you set up your project, then you want to put everything in that directory. So we'll take a look at here is under my Maya directory is projects, and there's Joe and City, and then I created those. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it all over again. File, Project New, Joe in City. and I'll use the defaults, and I'll accept, and then we'll open up this directory. And this is the new one, and you can see it has a lot of stuff in there. And I don't like dealing with extra stuff, so I'm just going to select and then shift select. That works on the PC anyway. And then the only ones I need, I'm going to control select the source images, scenes. What else do I need? Maybe images. That's for when you do rendering, which we're not going to need in here. I'll leave textures just for the heck of it. And they're all empty directories, so it doesn't really matter now. So I'll delete all those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put Joe. I've got another version of Joe in one of my directories, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy him over here to scenes. Okay, so now I have a IK Joe in there. And let's go ahead and save buildings. Save scene as, and okay, we're inside scenes, and we'll just call this buildings. BUIL. Now this is going to be sizable. Okay, so because it's okay, we can see what it is. So the buildings, amen. So I just deleted a little bit of the filigree, a little bit of the little details, hardly anything, not really that noticeable, and it's already down to like almost half its size. But what we're gonna do now that we've got these things saved, I'm just gonna make a new scene.